Hey guys, it's Ty Pentecost, and I am super excited to show you guys a little tool I learned recently while doing some baby images, and that's the clone stamp tool. So we're gonna get right into this because I don't want to be making like a long video of me rambling because I do that a lot already. I'm already doing it now, but let's get started. So I'm gonna create a background copy, and I'm gonna tell you first. This is what I'm trying to remove, is this nasty red line. The reason why I want to remove it is because this is one of their bridal portraits, and I know this is probably one of those pictures they're going to want to print or have some memory of, and I just feel like the red line is distracting. So I'm going to make a copy of the background, duplicate layer, and you're going to hit OK. Just going to right click on that to do that. And so that way, if something were to come up and I made some errors with the image, then I can actually delete the layer and not have to delete my photo. So you never want to like paint or do anything on your original photo, because then anything that you've edited, you're going to have to go back and start over or do a bunch of step backward in the edit section here to like get your picture back. So this is the clone stamp tool here. It looks like an actual stamp right underneath the paintbrush. And if you right click, you can see clone stamp tool and pattern tool. I've actually never really used the pattern tool. So you're going to just click into that. I'm going to make sure I have a soft white brush selected. I'm going to select a small brush because I'm working in a small area. And I'm going to make sure that my opacity is at 100. My mode is on normal. And I'm going to hit Command and Command and plus, because I want to make this large enough for me to see what I'm doing. Perfect. Okay. So how you're going to do this is you're going to actually hit the Option or Alt key, and you're going to select almost like a picture of what you want to stamp on top of this. So you could choose to stamp on the pavement on this to just make it pavement, or you can add whatever you want. But for me, I'm going to use grass. So I'm going to use this grass here, and I'm going to select this section here. I'm just going to hit Option Alt. It looks like a shutter, a camera shutter. I'm going to click my left of my mouse to take a picture, and I'm just going to start filling this in. And I keep selecting different areas because I want to give it, I don't want it to look seamless, if that makes sense. I want it to look like grass, and grass never has the same exact look to it throughout. So I'm going to keep selecting and filling. I'm going to select in here, and I'm just going to fill right in there. And as you can see now, my red line is starting to dissipate. It's going away. And again, I'm just selecting different parts of the grass to give it a little bit of a different feel. It doesn't have to all feel the same. So right in here, boom. Perfect. So I'm going to remove some of these leaves right in here. And I want to remove this leaf here. And again, you know, I probably wouldn't spend this much time on just a standard portrait because chances are, you know, it's just, you know, they're going to be using it for their Instagram photo or something. But this is a bridal portrait, and I feel like with my bridal portraits, I just want to spend more time focusing on, you know, the background and what's happening in the background and making it look as real as possible. So if you, let's say, kind of got a little crazy and started getting on here and you're like, oh shoot, I messed up, then you're just going to take your eraser. And I always like to use a soft eraser when I'm using a soft brush to start out with. And I'm just going to kind of click along in here to remove that. That's it. Just to clean it up a little bit. Yep. Okay. And I think that looks good. I might just want to do some little cleanup in here. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's zoom out. So we're going to hit Command and minus. Okay. So as I look at this, I can see that this is kind of bothering me. So I'm going to erase here and just to give it a more realistic curve. It was kind of not as realistic. Okay. So when I take my eye off of my background copy, I can see where I started and where I ended up. So you can see that it's definitely, this looks a lot cleaner and nicer, and it doesn't, the eyesore is gone. So that is the clone stamp tool. So now you're just going to right click on your original layer, this background layer, and you're going to flatten your image. And that's it. So hopefully you guys learned something. All right, have a good evening.